we're grateful and we appreciate those that braved the rain and have made it here. Thank you very much, everyone. This is the press conference for Vivajets, one of the leading emerging aviation brands in Africa. And we have come to tell you our story, and we have a couple of important things to tell you. I'm going to skip introduction for now and just pass the ball to the CEO of Vivajets, Mr. Erika Achim, to introduce the brand and then tell us why we've been here today.
Thank you very much, Ayo. Good afternoon from Lagos. Vivajets is a brand of Falcon Aerospace, a very exciting brand which we are looking to introduce to the public today. We are a business aviation brand centered around aircraft management, aircraft charter, aircraft sales, consulting. We are a young and dynamic organization. We were born out of the need to bring Africa together. We were born out of the need to facilitate regional connectivity, empower African growth or renaissance, like we choose to refer to it. We want to be a part of that new African story. We want to support the next set of people who would retell Africa's story. In retelling Africa's story, we want to be a part of that story. And we believe that with the power of our jet engines, we would facilitate, accelerate, and energize that African integration. The Vivajets story is a story that is very close to my heart, and on behalf of the entire team, I want to welcome all of you here today, our colleagues that are here presently, and our colleagues who joined us, who are joining us online. We hope that we will be able to tell our story in the most compelling way, and we would also try to answer all your questions to the best of our ability. Thank you very much.
Okay, my mic is on now. Please, can you give him a round of applause once again? All right, thank you very much. Vivajets is not just a business, it is a lifestyle. What we are trying to do actually is to make an exclusive market to become inclusive. And it's not my job to talk about this. It is my job to steer discussions. And so we'll make this as interactive as possible. We have the executives from Vivajets here ready to answer questions. And this is not just about Vivajets. This is about how business aviation is enabling and can continue to enable business and economic development in Africa. We are in a continent that is experiencing rapid growth despite our limitations. We have a youthful population, and sometimes people say all we have is hope because we have infrastructure shortfall. We have sometimes a lot of problems with our politics. However, in the midst of this, we have a youthful and enterprising population. And so we feel this is our hope for a great future. There's a lot of innovation coming out of Africa, and business innovation is here to enhance these innovations so that we can collectively have a prosperous Africa. Now we are about to go into a session that is highly interactive, and we're going to be having a lot of questions on both Vivajets and the aviation industry itself, and general things related to the brand. But before we do that, let me just take a time to introduce the people we have here. First, I'll take the mic to the journalists, and then you can introduce yourself. We still have more people coming, but everyone here, we can still have some form of introduction, and then we go into the discussions. Thank you.
I'm Anita Ibiachu, a journalist from the Guardian newspaper.
Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. My name is Shehu Fatai. I am a Daily photojournalist. Shehu Fatai.
From where?
Daily Sun.
Daily Sun. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Desmond from the Cable Newspaper.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ifoma Okiki. I write for Business Day, aviation journalist of Business Day.
Okay, I think these are the media guys we have at the moment in the room. For your information, we have people joining this from all around the world. Once again, let me just do a shout out to all our international journalists, those joining from Egypt, from South Africa, from Morocco, from Senegal, from Ivory Coast. We say a very big thank you. And I believe there's a message going on right now for you to introduce yourselves. Please write down your names in the group chat. Write your names and the media organization you represent. And also, without much further ado, even though we have their names in front of them, we would still like to introduce the executives of Vivajets. Please come in. You're welcome, ma'am. So, let me start from my left.
Good day, everyone. I'm Jonathan Abechi, Maintenance Excellence, and also the head of Dynamics Falcon Aerospace.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Basil Agbo-Besong. I head Product and Innovation here at Falcon Air.
Chukwuemeka Acho. I am the CEO of Falcon Aerospace, brand owner of Vivajets.
Hi, good afternoon. Tejumade Salami. I lead business excellence for Falcon Aerospace, brand owner of Vivajets.
Hello everyone. My name is Ifoma Odiakusa, and I'm sales, fractional ownership, and acquisition.
Hello, everyone. My name is Winifred Uguna, and I'm the head of charter sales and Vivajets. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right. I'd like to take a minute to tell you guys a joke. They say the dry jokes are usually the funniest, so I'm going to tell you a dry joke. So there's a competition amongst a couple of nations, Nigeria, the United States, and the UK, about who is more advanced in communications technology. And you all agree with me that Nigeria is the best, right? We are the most advanced. Okay, so nobody believes us. Like we say here in Lagos, in local parlance, you go explain, no evidence. So they decided to use one of the most tested methods, which is archaeology. And then they began to dig. In the US, after going 3 meters, they found wires. So they said 100 years ago, They were already using telephones. They went to the UK. They dug. After like 10 meters down, they found cables. So they said 150 years ago, they were using fiber optic cables. And then they came to Nigeria. And then they were digging 10 meters, 20 meters, down. They found nothing. So they concluded that we won the prize. You know how? Which means from time immemorial, we've been using wireless. So thank you very much. Africa is moving forward. So let's go into the question and answer. And I'll set the ball rolling by moving towards the CEO. So this is Vivajets. What exactly is Vivajets? And what is it all about? What led to the creation of the business?
Good afternoon again. Thank you very much, Ayo. I have to talk about Vivajets while also talking about myself, if you don't mind. I have spent I spent over a decade in the business aviation industry, starting up from, operations management, flight crew training, and just before now I was chief operating officer of one of Nigeria's biggest business jet operator. And it was easy to see the gap with regards to interconnectivity within Africa. This you might already know. In order to fly throughout Africa, you probably need about 38 visas just to crisscross 54 countries. And when organizations, try to trade intra-Africa, the major barrier has been interconnectivity. Beyond visas or those travel restrictions, you also have airline connections. For you to fly from Lagos to Angola, which is about 3 hours away, you most likely will have to transit through Europe. To go to Gabon, which is 1 hour, 15 minutes from Lagos, you most likely will have to go as far as Ethiopia, which is 4 hours from Nigeria, 4.5 hours from Nigeria, and fly another 5 hours to Libreville. So to do a 1 hour, 30 minutes flight, you have to transit through one country and fly approximately 9 hours without even calculating the time at the airport. So this is a major barrier to trade. If it is looking increasingly that it is easier to transact with a company in Europe than transact with a company that is just 1 hour away, because you cannot facilitate movement. So what Vivajets is trying to do is to break those barriers utilizing the power of business aviation. With business aviation, the restrictions there are no restrictions basically, because with any of our airplanes, you can hop on our Hawker 900 XP and fly direct from Lagos to Gabon, transact your business, and you are back in Lagos the same day. There is no other travel sector that can give you this kind of, enhanced connectivity. So for me, Vivajets is coming into the business aviation space to energize that space. Also, we are not just talking about chartering our own airplanes. We realize that several individuals who have the capacity to own these airplanes do not have the technical capacity to manage these airplanes. So Vivajets is coming to democratize that space, simplify aircraft ownership, take away all the hassles, and just ensure that your business jet is there for your success. There are also a group of individuals that might not necessarily want to bother themselves with the entire cost of owning an airplane. So our fractional ownership program is meant to enable those entrepreneurs or business owners who do not want to be bothered by the cost of owning the entire aeroplane, but just owning a fraction of the cost. This way, optimizing their travels and optimizing the use of the business jets. We at Vivajets, we believe strongly that between our fractional ownership program and our charter sales program, we would be able to provide a product that can enable business connectivity within Africa.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much once more. Some of the things I've been able to learn from what you said are that business aviation facilitates connectivity. You know, it's talking about shortening the distance, the time of travel. Sometimes, like what they say, sometimes the shortest distance does not mean the shortest time. But business aviation ensures that. And sir, I know I heard you mention certain things like fractional ownership, aircraft charter. So we really want to know what these mean, these things, what they mean. And this leads me to pose a question to the head of products and innovation. Mr. Basil, can you tell us the products of Vivajets?
Thank you very much, Ayo. So for Vivajets, as CEO mentioned, we have a host of services that we hope they can help us achieve the goal of interconnectivity and business objectives for Africa. Some of them are our charter services, where business individuals, companies and organizations can charter a whole jet within Africa, within Nigeria, and connecting Africa to the rest of the world. The other is the fractional jet ownership. I mean, as you mentioned, we want to be able to give individuals, businesses, and organizations a chance to own a private jet without the full cost of purchasing that jet. And then also go ahead to help these owners and businesses maintain this jet with our aircraft management services. But I mean, if they do not have the technical capabilities to maintain this jet, we have this in-house and we can offer these services for them. Besides that, we have been able to build digital platforms that can help them manage their investment, manage flights, manage bookings, and all of the charter services that we offer.
Okay, wonderful. So, Basil mentioned fractional ownership. It's something that is new to me, and I think it's something, I don't know much about the aviation industry. Vivajets is teaching me a lot. But, I mean, I never knew that I could own a private jet in conjunction with others. So, what's going to happen when both of us need to use it at the same time? You know, won't we start fighting over it and all of that? So, I understand that Vivajets has compiled a guide to fractional jet ownership so that, you know, you are not just walking in the dark if you want to maximize this product. So I'm going to call on Ifeoma Odiakosa to just briefly talk about fractional ownership.
Okay, thank you very much, Ayo. So as my colleagues have rightly mentioned, fractional ownership gives our clients the opportunity to own a private jet while not having to pay full amount. As we all know, to get a private jet at our time is a whole lot of money. but our company gives our clients the opportunity to purchase a private jet with a minimum cost of about 500,000 US dollars. And how this works is, if, for example, a client is interested, the first step would be to determine the need of the customer, determine how far they want to go, the number of people that may be available to fly the jet per time, their particular need. Are they interested in investment, or are they interested in using the private jet for their personal use or their business? So by the time these needs are identified, we go ahead to close the deal. We go on to financials and inspection till the private jet is eventually delivered. And just like my colleague Ayo questioned, so the answer to the question is, because of our vast experience in maintenance and management, we have a way of determining how our clients, whenever, so for example, if we have about 5 clients that are interested in buying a private jet, we have a way of segmenting their usage. So there's no limit, and there's an arrangement that would be made for the flights to be used. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Ifeoma Odiakusa. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so we proceed in the event. I'd just like to recognize, a few more media representatives that entered while we were speaking. So I'm going to hand over the mic to the lady on my left.
I'm Merit Ibe. I report for the Sun newspapers.
Okay, Miss, can somebody pass the mic to the man over there, the man in blue? Beautiful. Thank you very much. Tech economy. Did I hear tech? Yeah, so that's bringing some ideas to me. If we're going to be doing innovations, if we're going to be enhancing business aviation with innovation, don't we think it needs tech? And so let me just, but before that, right, the foundation of every successful business is a good corporate governance process. And this also affects the corporate culture. Without a good corporate culture, I don't think we can have a stable business. So I'm going to be asking the head of Business Success Excellence, Mr. Jumade Salah, about the corporate culture at Vivajets.
Hi, okay, thank you very much, Aya, for your question. So at Vivajet, we have, tried to make sure that we build a team of people that have the mindset that we would like to, drive within the organization, right? We have created a space for people that are very mindful of, the safety of our passengers, safety of our crew, safety of even the aircraft, upholding every of our regulatory standards, right? And we have created an organization where people are very mindful of, safety first. Safety is our utmost priority, and we want to make sure that in every of our workflow, we drive, the ideology of safety. This is really the only way we can operate. We want to make sure that everyone we fly, every of our clients are, comfortable and confident that, they would arrive securely. Our aircrafts are maintained in good and topmost conditions, in regards to safety. Away from safety, we also are very customer conscious, customer oriented. We look out for the needs of our customers in every of our service streams. Like, my colleagues have been talking about, speaking to aircraft charter, speaking to fractional ownership. Our customers' needs are first of, priority for us. We want to understand what your requirements are. We want to tailor our services so that they suit your needs. And, at the end of the day, we are able to contribute value to your business success by using our services. Innovation is also, one of the hallmark of our organization, and all our services are driven, through innovation and creativity. We have also tried to create, technology-enhanced system for operational efficiencies, for, customer satisfaction. Innovation is really at the center of our organization as well. I think, this, more or less covers what our corporate culture is like within the team.
Okay. You talked about corporate culture, and you talked about technology, you talked about innovation. So now I'm going back to technology, and the man in charge of innovation, we want him to tell us about, how the culture of innovation and leveraging on technology has helped the Vivajets team, in their operations.
Thank you very much, Ayo. About the culture of innovation in Vivajets, first and foremost, our work culture is the fact that not everybody works from the office, right? We have distributed teams across the world, across Africa, and across different time zones. So we have been able to utilize advanced web conferencing technologies, internet technologies that has enabled us to be able to connect with the people and with our clients anytime, 24/7, and meet them at their specific needs, right? We have also been able, because we have the goal of leading the business aviation space in Africa, we've been able to design platforms like websites, mobile apps for our charter services, websites where our clients can reach us, can get to know more about us, and can easily access the services that we want to offer. We are also able to store the data that we get from our clients. We use this data, analyze this data to understand their preferences and make decisions that will not just only help the business move forward, but also help us satisfy and meet the needs of our clients. With regards to innovation and technology, I can proudly say there isn't any business aviation organization in Nigeria that is doing as much as we are doing right now. Thank you very much.
Okay, I have a friend that every time I complain to him about getting to somewhere, okay, I want to go to Abuja. My flight is delayed. There are problems at the airport. I can't get to so place. I was like, why can't you book a private jet? I'm like, do I look like $10? So my question is this: does everybody have to look like Dangote or $10 to be able to make use of business aviation? So my question is to Winifred, from the sales team. Who is your ideal? Who are your target audience, right? The company says it's democratizing the business aviation space, right? So who's your ideal client?
Thank you very much, Ayo, for that question. So our ideal client at Vivajets are anybody that needs, to meet a need. If you need to meet a need of aviation, a business need, you are our client, okay? We cut across all African countries, people that need to be where they need to be on time. They complain of, delayed flights, canceled flights, and this hinder businesses. So our ideal clients are anybody that needs to get to where they need to get to on time. And those that also want luxury, they are our clients. Anybody can, pick up a phone, call us or book a charter, and they are where they need to be. It's all about, do you have a need that you want us to meet for you concerning aviation? If you have a need of trying to cut off time, then you are our ideal client at Vivajets. Thank you.
Okay, so I agree. The access is open But I still don't agree that the finance is open. Business aviation is not free, right? However, compared to what we have right now, what Vivajets is doing, right, is to lower the barrier, right, with all the innovations and the increase in efficiency. So what they're doing is to lower the barrier, and the financial cost is reduced, right? Okay, and so away from, sales and marketing related things, let's go into the nitty-gritty, of aviation itself, right? I've seen airplanes, but I'm not sure I know anything about their engines, how they are maintained, how they are operated, and so on and so forth, right? And we have Vivajets that's been doing this, and has a tall ambition, a great ambition, right, to do this not just within Nigeria but across the world, across multiple African countries. So let's talk about how how the culture of maintenance and operations generally, when passengers are flying the jets, how do you keep it safe for them? How do you even operate it? So, Mr. Jonathan, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So, at Vivajet, safety is our number one priority. As a matter of fact, thanks to collaborative efforts from our head of innovation and the team, we've been able to employ technology in keeping those reliability data in such a way that we can actually predict the next maintenance, that we're keeping safety in mind. That is to say that we actually see a problem before it becomes a problem. So we are able to tackle these root causes by means of scheduled maintenance, and sometimes in unscheduled maintenance. We are proactive enough to have prepared for those incidences that were meant to occur. So, at Vivajets, we keep it 1,001% safe all the time, every time. We go into maintenance first. The reason for that is, I should be able to fly my newborn in our airplane. With the assurance that the airplane is so safe. For some other aspects in maintenance, we employ, some of the best technology. As we know, technology has enhanced aviation in so many other ways. And we at Vivajet, we are at the forefront of that, reaping the benefits of this technology. Thank you very much.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much, Jonathan. And we are now steering the conversation away from, Vivajet-centric issues into the wider issues about business aviation and economic development in Africa. Because we believe that this company was set up to provide solutions to certain problems. So let me start from the CEO. Mr. Achim, I believe, and you've told us about the vision for the business and all of that. This business is not just serving Nigeria; it's Pan-African in both its scope and its culture, right? How do you think Vivajets, or how is Vivajets situated, right, in the midst of the current issues we have in Africa currently, vis-a-vis our efforts to drive economic development in short, how does this company enhance, or support, the economic development of Africa?
Thank you, Ayo. So, locating, of course, we know that the world now, with globalization, it is easy to set up a business anywhere. But Lagos for us is more symbolic, or Nigeria for us is more symbolic, not just because we are Nigerians, but because of the appealing geography. So in technical terms, well, people say Nigeria is in the heart of Africa. Well, we say Nigeria is the buckle of Africa. And technically, from Nigeria, it will take you 4.5 hours to reach the western coast of Africa, 6.5 hours to reach the southern coast of Africa, 5 hours to get to the northern coast of Africa, another 6.5 hours to get to the eastern coast of Africa. So that places us geographically in the buckle of Africa. So with our airplanes, or well, not our airplanes being based here, with us being here, we are able to cover the entire Africa just by position alone. So we are already ahead due to the fact that we are blessed enough to be located in Nigeria. However, our services are not Nigeria-centric, right? That geographic location gives us that pivot, to be able to pick up a passenger very quickly from Abidjan, which is only an hour 30 minutes, an hour 15 minutes from Lagos. Pick up a passenger from Libreville, which is an hour 10 minutes from Lagos. Service a demand out of Nairobi, which is 4.5 hours from Lagos. And of course, we can reach Marrakech in 400 hours, in 4.5 hours, sorry, not 400 hours. So this location, right, is an enabler for your business naturally. Now talking about the issues which we have earlier discussed about connectivity in Africa. With a business jet, it is easy to see only the luxury part. Like my colleague Ifoma Winifred mentioned, customers who have a need to connect, I rather call them time poor customers, right? Customers who are time poor, we are able to sell time to these customers by offering our iconic jets. Our ambition is very simple. We want to have a Vivajets airplane taking off for landing somewhere in Africa every 90 seconds. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And this leads me again to I like that word, innovation. So, there's a lot of discussions, a lot of talk about the innovations coming out of Africa. So, Mr. Basil, what do you think are the primary drivers of innovation currently in Africa? And I also like Teju to also contribute to answering this question.
For us, as I mentioned earlier, we are very much concerned about the data that we mine from our operations, right? We are very much data-driven. We, as an organization, we ensure that before we make decisions that are also sustainable and also backed by technology, they have to be first and foremost backed by data. So to say that, our customers cut across diverse personas, with regards to age, with regards to financial bracket, tax bracket, and all of that, we want to be able to make sure, using the data, they were able to meet their specific need, right? We also want them to know that the idea of business of aviation is not an obscure thing. You don't have to be so rich to probably want a jet. You don't have to be so rich to want to charter a jet. As my colleague mentioned, you just need to have the need and you are sort of time poor, and we are able to back the decision that we have to make for you with data, and subsequently store that data to help you make the choices as you go forward. I mean, meet you at the point of need and make those choices before you even realize that you need those things. Thank you very much.
Okay, so to personalize the learnings from what you just said, I'd say data is very important, right, in driving innovation. And at Vivajets, we take data very, very importantly. Data drives, the way we develop solutions. Data drives even the way we operate and deal with customers. So, Teju. Drivers of innovation.
Okay, so I'm going to move away a bit from, technology, like, my colleague Basil has been talking about, and, try and focus also on, the people behind our operations. I think I can confidently say actually that we have put together, a team of creative minds. And one of the things that we also, embrace within our organization is inclusivity. One of the drivers of innovation for us, I would say, is the smart ideas and approach that we even put into the technologies that we use, the smart innovative tech and or whatnot that we use within our operations. I mean, you want to work effectively, you want to be a bit more efficient, you want to give ideas that would generate more impact or create more value, even with the use of technology, right? So I would say that another driver of innovation for us are the creative minds that we have within our team, in maintenance, in sales, how we drive our sales, how we target, our clients, our prospects, how we, acquire our customers, how we do our operations, working effectively, working smart to make sure that even the technology that we're deploying is being, utilized more efficiently.
Okay, so talking about creativity, right? I'm aware that Vivajets. Okay. Beautiful. Statue.
Yeah, sorry to take us back a little bit. I mean, I just wanted to add on top of what my colleagues have said. I mean, for us, innovation is the only way that we can survive, right? It's never a place, it's a journey, right? Innovation is a continuous journey, continuous improvement. But we have also shown that we are not just a traditional business aviation organization or an aviation organization. In fact, you will see that as part of our leadership, we have dedicated a products and innovation role that cuts across all of our departments, from sales, operations, management. You have that direct, interface with our products and innovation team. So for us, that gives us, the confidence that not only would we be fit for the future, right, but we will continue to meet our customers, right, at even places that they have not yet thought of. So it's key for us. We don't make any decision here without any consideration for the future. We try to, cut across all of our work streams, using the power of innovation. Our organization is very lean, right? In fact, I don't think the last time I saw more than 4 or 5 people together at the office, I think that must have been, a long time, because we have invested in the technology that empowers our people to function from, basically anywhere with an internet connection. So for us, just to conclude, innovation for us is it's a no-go. We can't do without it.
Okay, so talking about innovation, creativity, I'm aware there are certain products or should I say brand, that are associated with Vivajets, right? So, and this leads me to ask again, and I'll put this question to Teju. Yeah. So, what are the other brands associated, the sister brands associated with Vivajets? And I'm aware Vivajets is also part of a larger group. Can you just, expatiate more on this?
Okay, thank you, Ayo. Just to speak a bit to some of our other initiatives. So, I mean, earlier on when we introduced ourselves, we said Falcon Aerospace. So Falcon Aerospace sits as the parent company of all of these brands. And under Falcon Aerospace, we have three major brands. Vivajets, which is, why our major, aim of gathering here today. But alongside Vivajets, we also have Charter XC. Now, Charter XC is a mobile and web application that allows for, all of our customers, our clients to, it's more or less a one-stop shop for you to easily access, charter flights. You have a request to go from, like we've mentioned locations, destinations. You want to go from Lagos to Abidjan. You want to go from Lagos to, Marrakesh. You just go on our Charter XC app, and then you send us a request. It's one of the fastest, platforms right now for you to actually get, a charter flight away from the traditional bookings or reservations or requests for business aviation or private jets, right? This allows you, gives you, we talked about how we want to increase the access to business aviation. This is Charter XC is the exact product that gives that access to every individual. You can book from the comfort of your room, your house, wherever you are. You don't even have to speak directly to somebody. You just go on the application and then you book a charter flight. Just give us all of the information. We have put in features where you could easily put your preferences, how many passengers you want, if you have multiple stops or multiple connectivity, just put all of your requests there, and you're getting a quote within a very reduced amount of time, and we're closing out a charter flight in no time, literally, as against human interaction and having to wait for someone to get back to you, or not even sure someone is picking up your request. The application allows for that interaction, quick access, and quick feedback, quick response time as well. The third brand is FlyPJX. FlyPJX is we call it charter per seat. Now, what FlyPJX does is also an application, right? And what FlyPJX does is gives you access to a seat on a charter, on a private jet. So you just pay for a seat. FlyPJX rather is more scheduled. It's a scheduled flight, right? You have access to a private jet. Alongside other passengers, you book a seat. You want to go from Lagos to London. Our most flown routes right now are Lagos, London, Accra, and Abuja, right? And you book a seat based off of the schedules that are available on our application, and you're on your way. It cuts out the whole stress of having to go through the international airport to board an aircraft. This gives you access to a private lounge where you board from onto the private aircraft along other passengers. So the FlyPJX application is a charter per seat. You book just a seat. You don't book the whole aircraft alongside other passengers. But of course, what that gives you also is access, saves you time, is also very accessible to our customers, right? These are our three brands under Falcon Aerospace. And we have talked a lot about products and innovation and how we're using technology to drive our services. This is these two applications, Charter XC and FlyPJX, is also speaking to how we use technology to drive our charter flights and the scheduled operations as well. Thank you.
Okay, beautiful. So our time is fast spent, so I think we should just go straight into the question and answer session, so that we'll have the media ask questions. So if you are here physically, you raise up your hand, introduce yourself once again, and then ask your question. And then for those online, right, please send your question into the group chat, and then they'll be collated and sent here, and then we'll also ask and answer them. Thank you very much. Okay, I would have said ladies first, but let's just, yeah. So, Mr. The man from the tech economy.
Have the experience you want to book for flights. You have options either to most people prefer to pay with their cards, the rest of them, but these days you have issue paying with card, the rest of them. But I want to know the experience on your platform in terms of payments, end-to-end payments. If I come and book or charter a flight, can I pay online? You know, the integrations are you using? PayStack, with the rest of them are you using? Then also from the time you launched your service, I know in Ikeja till now, what have been the experience so far? So that would be a kind of great feedback for us to tell our readers. Thank you.
Okay, you want to answer that, sir? Or
Okay, so I would speak to the payment integration, and then I would let my CEO talk to or speak to our progress so far. For the payment integration, we have, of course, in collaboration with Florida Wave and PayStack, and also international organizations, we accept all forms of payment on our platform. And I mean, from testing to actual implementation, we have not had any issues whatsoever regarding our payment integrations. We've had SWIFT payment transactions off the platform, and I mean, I think we're confident that can only just get better. Our PSPs are they're very how do I put it now? They're very swift with response to whatever issues we've had. But so far we've had good integration with the payment platforms and on the application.
So with regards to the journey experience, well, it's not easy pushing 3 brands at the same time. I mean, sometimes we ask ourselves if we are not crazy, but if your ambitions or aspirations don't, if you're not afraid of them, I mean, then you probably are not doing something right. It's been quite an interesting journey. I mean, from app design to app development to now implementation. I mean, it's been a journey of huge learning for me personally. I mean, some of the conversations that Basil have had me, some of the rooms, I find myself lost in some of the rooms, but I mean, Vivajets traditionally has been our bread and butter. I mean, aircraft management, aircraft charter, aircraft sales. These, I would say, are the hallmarks of our business as an organization. With Charter XC and FlyPGX, we, of course, are looking to optimize, all of our business streams. You've heard Tejo and Basil talk about the, ease of doing business via Charter XC and via FlyPGX. So from a customer experience point of view, or journey experience, it has been quite exhilarating. From a success point of view as well, I mean, we have made some successes as well. We signed up our first management contract in April, a Hawker 900 XP, and we, have had this airplane flying all over Africa, from Congo to Abidjan to, the farthest points of Africa. It has been quite an experience, and I have been personally you know, thrilled with the amount of support that I have gotten from the entire team. Thank you.
Okay, the lady from
Okay, good afternoon, everybody, once again. I have a couple of questions. I don't know who will take, but it's a lot. Because when you were talking, most of the things you said weren't really my interest. So I'm going to ask what, there are many questions in my mind to ask. Let me start with the maintenance guy. In fact, when you were talking about maintenance, I was eager to hear a lot, but you were talking about tech. But let's go to the field, okay? I'm aware that in Nigeria we don't have a maintenance facility, aircraft maintenance facility, none exists. Okay. None exists in Nigeria. In fact, a lot of our airlines go outside the country for maintenance, as far as Jordan, as far as USA, especially Ethiopian Airlines facility in Ethiopia. So I'm wondering, and you say you can maintain your aircraft, so that got me thinking, how are you partnering with some of these maintenance facilities outside Nigeria to do this maintenance? And again, when you talk about spare parts has also been another very big issue in Nigeria. We don't really have a company currently in Nigeria that sells spare parts, so airlines have to go all the way, ferrying these spares back to Nigeria and all that. So are you in partnership with Boeing, Airbus, Embraer? You spoke about hunger. So I wanted to know what kind of partnerships you have to facilitate that. Then secondly, I really don't understand this fractional ownership. I know you're not Father Christmas, so you are going to offer as low as $500,000, right, for people to come in. I mean, for you to give people aircrafts and they own it. I know you are not Father Christmas, so I know that for you to do that, you must have an interest rate in which these guys are going to pay you. I know airlines pay huge sum of money when it comes to interest. In fact, the interest can span as much as 5-10 years before they get to own an airplane. So what are you doing? Because I know that also for you to get these airplanes in the amount you want to get them, you also have to, you know, how do I put it? You also have to have access to some credit facilities. So you're having access to credit facilities. People who are buying are also, you also want to, of course, add your interest rate. So how does it make sense for me? If I want to own an aircraft, is it not better for me to buy directly from the people than go through a third party? So tell me what's the big deal? What are you doing differently? I mean, why should I come to you? Why shouldn't I go directly to people who would supply that for me? That's two. Then another, sorry, I'm asking. I told you I'll ask a lot of questions. So again, I know that the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, which is NCAA, I don't know they are buying in what you're doing, but I do know that from what you've explained to me, you have to have an AOC or a kind of licensing to operate. Do you have an AOC? Because I know that a lot of Nigerians don't have own aircraft but don't have AOC. So, but you own and you operate, so you should have an AOC. So what's your, I want to know about, because I really don't know who Vivajets are. I know a lot of private jet owners and all that, but I don't know you. So let us know what's the regulatory authorities. Do you have a backup from them in what you're doing as well? Then again, how many jet operators subscribe to your services? Because if you say you're doing, my brother said nobody is offering what you're offering, but I want to doubt that. Because also, why are you limiting your service to Africa? You said Africa, but a lot of people actually can book from here to as far as God knows where. So why limit yourself to Africa? Why not other places? I don't know if I'm forgetting anything, but I think let me just stop at that. Thank you.
Okay. My colleague Jonathan, the head of Dynamics, will handle the questions with regards to maintenance and reliability, and I will take the questions on fractional ownership, regulatory issues, and am I missing one? I think I'm missing one. Regards to, no, price. Regulatory issues is price fight. So Jonathan, please go ahead with. Thank you, Mark, for the questions.
Saying that we don't have a lot of MROs in Nigeria would be false. Just to name a couple, ExecuJet is not a joke. The Aero MRO is not a joke. 7-Star Global is not a joke. Just to mention a few. Secondly, for our aircraft are fully enrolled in the manufacturer plans and programs. For the Hawker, we are fully enrolled on the Honeywell program and the Textron program. I mean, if you want confirmation, we can give you receipts right here and now. I mean, as regards spare parts, we are also on the program. We can have any spare part delivered to us in less than 12 hours to Nigeria via ExecuJet's facility or some other facility. So, I mean, I think that should make you sleep better now. Is Aero a joke to you? Is 7-Star a joke to you? I see the disparity as well. So what you mean by everything would, in this term, be relating to the engine maintenance? Yeah. So you're saying everything. Let me break it down to you. The airframes and the engines, I mean, they have their own requirements as well. So for the engine maintenance, if I'm carrying out the C checks, as soon as I start, the engines will be dropped down and shipped to the manufacturer's facility to be fixed and returned back to me. Does that settle that? Say again?
No.
And this would be only for the specific product because the manufacturer has indicated that it is only I that can touch these engines.
But she's also correct. I think I see the disparity here. So the airliners, right, the Boeings, the Airbuses, the Embraer 145s, 175s, those are called the airliners. It's actually a different market. Yes, the capability for heavy checks for the airliners, like the Boeings, the Airbuses, that capability is limited in Nigeria. But for business aviation, the kind of airplanes we offer, we are able, that technology is actually here. However, it does not mean that we service or do all of those tasks here in Nigeria. There are some specialized tasks that we have to, of course, fly the airplane out of the country to those, MROs that we have partnerships with. Regarding parts, what he means by programs is, for the Hawker fleet, the airplane is one of the most simplest designs ever. The manufacturer tells you everything. We have a relationship with the manufacturer called a power by the hour, where they bill us every hour we fly and send us an invoice at the end of the month. Now that gives us an unlimited access to the manufacturer's inventory. So like Jonathan said, we have a windshield or a generator that goes bad. All we need to do is order for it, and the parts are here, and we don't pay for it. So we don't have the burden of carrying the inventory on our balance sheets. We have that support from the manufacturer across, the airplanes we manage. With regards to the fractional owner, I think I can dive into that now, the fractional ownership program. So, I mean, yes, I agree 100% that airplanes are expensive equipment. That is why we're actually, pushing the fractional ownership program into the market. However, from our experience, we have seen that the customers who own the airplane, the cost of owning the airplane is not necessarily optimized to the usage of the customer. So a customer spends $5 million on purchasing an airplane, but he's only flying 10 hours a month. the cost of operating an airplane is easily about 2% the value of the airplane. I mean, just rule of thumb, don't hold me to it, but estimatedly it's about 2% of the cost of the airplane every year. So if you have an airplane, sorry, not 2%, 20%. If you have an airplane that is about $5 million, it will probably cost you about plus or minus 1.2 million to maintain that airplane every year. When I mean maintenance, crew salaries, fuel, all that good stuff. But if you're only doing 10 hours a month, which is about 100 hours a year, you see that it is costing you 1.2 million divided by 100 hours every single hour you fly. It's probably costing you about $10,000 every time you fly. So with our fractional ownership program, your usage is optimized to the value you have of the airplane. And we are not selling the airplane to you at 500,000. We are grouping you in a pool of interested people. So if, for example, if the airplane is worth $5 billion, right, and we want to divide the airplane by 5 or 6 places. So if you divide 5 by 5 million, you have 500,000. So you are in a pool, you enter our program, your funds are in escrow until the airplane is delivered. So that way, whether you are using it as an investment strategy or as a strategy to facilitate your business, either way, the value you put into the airplane is optimized to your usage. So in that case, if you're a user, right, if you're a fractional ownership user, the more you fly, of course, the more you pay, because you're splitting the maintenance costs alongside other users of the airplane. Regarding regulatory conversations, so we are an aircraft management company, right? But all of our airplanes are, for us, it is a must if we're doing commercial activities, because okay, here there are 2 types of users. There are users who, when they're not flying, they want to give the airplane out for charter. They want to make money with the airplane. While there are users who want the airplane strictly for their business success. So technically, even though you call it private jets, there is a commercial utilization and there's a private utilization. So the users who use their airplanes strictly for private purposes do not need to be on an AOC, right? They are on a certification called Permit for Non-Commercial Flights. Now, for users who want to commercialize their usage, the airplane has to be on an AOC. So we ourselves do not hold an AOC, but our airplanes are on AOCs. However, the AOC holder, on top of the AOC holder, what we do is we provide a specialized management and supervision for the owner. First of all, the owner's bills are optimized. Sorry, I keep on using the word optimized, but I mean, we ensure that the owner is not paying for any services he's not using, right? And with regards to, cost, which I think I also missed, the business aviation, the unique selling proposition for us is that because we are able to export these services out of Nigeria, we do not have some of the challenges facing conventional airlines. Why? Because a huge part of our revenue is dollarized. So we can sustain our dollarized expenses due to the fact that we also earn foreign exchange. We don't need to apply to the CBN, which of course is a huge problem for other airlines because unfortunately a huge percentage of their revenue is in Naira, and they have the additional burden of trying to source this foreign exchange, which is non-existent, and they find themselves in situations where they're not able to pay for those services. So, but for us, we count ourselves lucky that we are able to export these services out of Nigeria, which of course we're trying to sell to the public. The airplane is a mobile asset. So if you think about building a factory in Nigeria and you want to export, you are bothered, of course, by the challenges we are facing here, like power, insecurity. Sorry, we're not we should, we're not trying to, Nigeria is a great place to come and invest, but for us, the unique selling proposition of the mobile assets is that we can export the services, you know, without necessarily leaving Nigeria. So, connectivity, what was the question on connectivity again? Oh, okay, yes. So, I mean, we're not restricting ourselves to, you know, Africa. However, there is a business opportunity here. I mean, why do I want to go and compete with companies in Europe when, of course, there are a lot of challenges here, which, of course, lead to opportunities. We have the ability to, you know, service customers who want to travel to Europe, right? But, of course, with the institutional memory we have, we know that there's quite a lot of opportunities here in Africa, and we want to consolidate on our African, you know, priorities, and hopefully in the future, you know, we could look towards further expansion towards areas like maybe the Middle East first, even before thinking about Europe. But thank you again for your questions. They were quite, you know, exciting.
I have a few questions. Okay, so mine is just a few questions I have brought up on some of your comments on regulations, right? So, is this on? All right. Okay then. So recently is it on? Okay, it's on. So recently the new minister of aviation. Right. I think it's working. It's working. So the Minister of Aviation recently said that airlines are soon going to start compensating travelers for flight cancellations and delays and all of that. So I want to get your position on that. That's one. Secondly, there's also a regulation that has now compelled airlines to begin operations with at least 6 aircrafts. So again, I want to know what your position is on this and how you think this is going to change the aviation landscape.
Thank you very much. I think, well, the issue of compensation, I mean, has been quite long overdue. Well, it's there. It's not anything new. We actually have it in the Civil Aviation Act and also in the Part 18 of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Regulations, which talks about, you know, air transport economics. It's there. Implementation has been an issue, maybe also awareness, because I don't think that the large population of the flying public are quite aware of the fact that they can access this, you know. The NCA actually has a consumer protection unit which deals specifically to cancellations with regards to compensations with regards to flight cancellations. However, the issues with flight cancellations are not 100% the fault of the airlines, because there are issues with infrastructure that needs to be addressed as well. I will give you an example. There are quite a lot of airlines that operate between 6:50 in the morning and 7:30 in the morning, flying from Lagos to Abuja, right? And they all arrive at the same time. And picture a scenario where you arrive into an airport and you have 6 aeroplanes arriving at the same time, but you only have 2 conveyor belts working. Instantly, those airplanes would have delays. So there are quite a lot of issues I don't want to go into, but on the part of the government as well, I mean, there are issues that border on the effectivity of the airlines operating their schedules. The airlines also have, you know, a fault in this. We have to also look at how they are scheduling the airplanes, right? Are the schedules optimized, with respect to the available, flying hours in a day? Some of the schedules, people might say, are more commercial centric, and don't really have the schedule integrity, right, to service, the customer that they've had a contract with who has bought the ticket. So at the end of the day, I'm sorry to say, well, it's the customer at the end of the day that is suffering for both the inefficiencies on the part of the government and also the airlines. On the other question with regards to 6 airplanes, so for sure, what that's going to do is reduce the amount of investment going into aviation. So if last year you needed a capex of about $15 million to go into an airplane, but to go into an airline business with only 3 airlines, with only 3 aircraft, this year you probably are looking at $30 million. But the thinking behind this regulation is to ensure that only people who are more, they want participants, right, who are on a more serious level, right? They want to, I feel the authority looking at this from, a strength position point of view. They want airlines who join stronger, right, so that they can see that when we see airplane, it is possible that before the end of the year to have a growth plan that can, of course, kick off quicker. But again, it's too early to say if it will yield the required results, right? I think in the next 1 year we will be able to see how many airlines have started up, and I think maybe the authority might also look at that again and say, okay, this is hampering investment into this sector of the economy, and maybe we want to reduce the amount of airplanes. Thank you very much. So that is something that everybody has been clamoring for. People feel that we don't need 100 airlines in Nigeria, but I see it from an economic point of view, a job creation point of view. I always think the more the merrier, right? I always believe that government cannot be the highest employer of labor. We have to create opportunities for people to be employed. I want more airlines. I want more competitors. I want more people, because competition also drives innovation, right? So, yes, it is possible that it might lead to mergers, but currently I don't think the regulation is affecting existing airlines. It is only for new entrants. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause.
So for now, we have our first management contract was on. Okay, I mean we have different streams under the Vivajet portfolio. Aircraft management is number 1 stream. We also have fractional ownership, and we have charter sales. For charter sales, I'm sorry I don't have the numbers here, but we are doing about between 50 and 60 flights on a monthly basis. I don't have the specifics, but we're doing between 50 and 60, which is a good number. On the aircraft management side, we signed up our first aircraft in April this year, and we're expecting 2 more airplanes to be rounded off before the end of the year. Conversations are already at advanced stages, and we should be wrapping it up in the next 3 to 4 weeks, actually. On the fractional ownership side, that stream has not really kicked into full gear because there are a lot of back-end conversations around fractional ownership, from legalese to the actual operation, because we don't want to sell a service where we launched the product in March, yes, but we've not been able to go to market because we had not finalized the details. We want to be able to assure our customers fully that when you sign up for this program, somebody mentioned that question. I don't know who mentioned it. If, okay, the customer wants to fly and the airplane is not available. Of course, that's something that we've been thinking about. We've invested in technology, proprietary technology actually, that can analyze and forecast our travel needs for the customers. So that way we can proportion the amount of charter we can put on the airplane, right? We've also invested in maintenance scheduling, right? We want our prognosis to be well on point to ensure that our airplanes suffer the most minimum downtime, of course, without infracting on safety and regulation. So the fractional ownership program is just going to market, and we hope, and quite optimistic that, the customers will respond, to this very great product.
Okay. Thank you very much. I hope all your questions are answered. Please, okay.
Back to their country. No, I'm fine. I think my voice is loud enough. I can shout.
The online audience will not hear you.
So, Nigeria is we are a crazy people, that's the truth. So how do you want to, no, not everybody, I'm just saying Nigerians. How do you deal with that scenario of having somebody who you give a plane to, and then you sign an agreement and the person is telling you that, I don't have the money, and you cannot kill him. You go to court and it ends there. At the end of the day, this thing is on you. The guys you bought the plane from are calling you. They don't know if you have a third party you sold it to. It's not their business. So how do you deal with these contingencies when they come in?
So, we have a very deep understanding of the Nigerian and African markets. And if you look at our product line from Vivajets to Charter XC to Fly PJX, the most exciting thing for me is the thought-out complementarities. Falcon Aerospace, of course, is the brand owner of all of these brands, and we have been able to complement these brands. So I'll give you a typical example. First of all, the fractional ownership, even though we are selling a part of the airplane to you, management of the aircraft retains with us. So we are in charge of the full turnkey management, from maintenance to operational planning, even to charter sales. If you look at our product stream, you will see that, for example, you give us your airplane, right, to manage for you via Vivajets. Charter XC can charter out the airplane for you. Fly PJX can charter out the XC for you. So Winifred can get a request on Charter XC or Fly PJX and transfer that request to our operations team at Vivajets, saying that, oh, CEO, I have a flight request from Lagos to Abuja. Do you have availability? So Vivajets can service Charter XC. Fly PJX can service, Vivajets can also service Fly PJX. So we have that complementarity built into the product line. So the revenues and the expenses of the airplane actually flow through us. So that way we can ensure that our customers, right, of course, are held accountable, right, in, of course, well, God forbid, situation where the customer is not able to continue with his obligations, we can decide to charter out that fraction of his ownership and say, okay, you know what, we allocated 15 hours to you this month, but since you don't have the financial capability to service the airplane for this month, why don't we charter out the 15 hours and use that revenue to service your obligation? So we've thought about this, and yeah, we can't wait to put it into implementation.
Okay, beautiful. Any other question? Once again, for our online audience, please type your questions into the chat room, and we'll compile and ask and answer right here. Please, any other question?
I quite appreciate the innovative spirit, and then going by the global meltdown that is affecting all the economies of the world, everyone, specifically Nigeria, government, states, individuals, businesses are all trying to adjust. So what are we doing to make business aviation much more accessible to everyone, including myself? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I didn't get your name. Merit. Okay.
From the Sun.
From the Sun. So, I mean, as much as we want to make the service as accessible as possible, right? There is a huge cost factor always associated to operating airplanes, and they say safety. The number one way to gauge safety is actually to gauge your finance, because a company that is not financially viable is not a safe company. However, we have also looked at the possibility, not even the possibility, our ambition is to democratize that access to business aviation. And for those customer segments that you've mentioned, we have launched Fly PJX. Fly PJX is a charter per seat booking platform that offers the experience of flying in a private jet at the cost of flying in an airline. So you have a passenger going to Abuja from Lagos, right? And instead of chartering out the entire airplane, with Flight PJX, that passenger can only charter a seat on the airplane with the same access to the business jet lounge, the same quick facilitation. I mean, in a business jet, it probably takes you only 15 minutes to show up at the terminal and just walk into the airplane. So you have the same facilitation, you have the same experience on board, you have the same experience at departure. However, at the fraction of the cost of chartering the entire airplane. So Fly PJX is quite an exciting product which will be, pushing to the market very soon, and we hope that we can cater to a specific segment of customers who do not necessarily want to, expense the cost of chartering an entire airplane, but they want the same experience. So we have Fly PJX for that customer segment.
Okay. Another round of applause for our able CEO. Our time is fast spent, and we need to wrap this up quickly, but not before taking down the questions and discussing the questions of our online audience. So, Richard from Ghana Web is asking, does Vivajets offer services in Ghana, and what's the ease of doing business across Africa? I'll just combine everything. Then Shadrach Nyako from the Times newspaper, Kenya, is asking, what informed or will be informing your chartered routes? And what's the research backing this up?
So yes, Accra is a very important market for us, and I think you can liken Accra and Lagos to the twin cities of New Jersey and New York. You can't mention Accra without mentioning Lagos, and you can't mention Lagos without mentioning Accra. Forgetting about the jollof rice, brouhaha. But Accra is a huge market for us. In terms of percentage, currently, I think we are doing about 15% of our charters actually emanating out of Accra. And we intend to consolidate on this relationship by operating directly between Lagos and Abuja, Lagos, Abuja, and Accra, connecting Lagos, Abuja to Accra via Fly PJX. Those conversations are ongoing. We are in talks with major travel agencies in Accra, because there's no way we can, of course, go into that market without solid partnerships in Accra. So we are coming to Accra. And to the question, Nairobi, from Shedrack, right? Yes. From Nairobi. So I mean, for charter, it's hard to talk about a route, because we go wherever the customer wants to go, right? But I mean, there are high density routes which are only based on the frequency of demand. But we don't really wake up in the morning and say we wish to go to operate to Accra or wish to operate to Johannesburg. So our routes are basically based on wherever the customer wants us to go. And yeah, I hope.
Is there any insight that drives this, or any research about how you determine the routes?
Yes, I mean, of course, it's based on the data we have, the operating data we have from, of course, the demand we've gotten, we've serviced in the past. Like I said initially, being in Lagos, I mean, is just a natural enabler for us, because we are able to, reach some of these destinations quicker than, people from out of Lagos. We can get to Accra in 45 minutes. We can get to Abidjan in 1 hour, 15 minutes. So Lagos alone is an enabler, being the buckle of Africa geographically.
Thank you very much. And we've come to the end of this discussion. I hope you've gained insights, just as I've gained a lot of insights. I've learned so much more about aviation and business aviation specifically, and I hope you've also learned. And for the journalists, I hope you've had answers to your questions. And for those that will be, you are storytellers, and you'll be telling our story to the wider audience. And it's our hope that your story brings more trust, leads to more trust in not just in our services, but in business aviation in general. And so I'll soon call on Teju to give the vote of thanks. Before then, let me just say that immediately after this, we'll have a photo session here. So for the photojournalists, right after the vote of thanks, we'll have a photo session with the executives, and then we would have different photo poses. Thank you very much once again. Teju.
Okay, on behalf of the Vivajets team, we thank everybody for coming in today, for our online audience, and for everyone physically here. Thank you so much for making the time, and for coming to also hear our story. We hope that we can continue to be one of the drivers of economic growth in Nigeria and Africa, and we hope that we would always, deliver value, to the society. Thank you so much once again for coming, and have a safe travel back.
This live stream was brought to you by Virtual Events Limited, Africa's leading virtual event streaming company. For bookings, call +234 909 807 9830. Email hello@virtualevents.ng. Visit our website at www.virtualevents.ng.